Good morning, everyone. It's 6:12 a.m. I am an early riser, and I'm getting ready to make my bed. I don't know if you can see my bed right here. It's unmade, and I'm getting ready to um, actually wash the linens, and I have some more sheets to put on, but I'm like really sick of the same sheets that I have. I have like 3 sets of sheets, and I've been, like I mentioned yesterday in my video, I'm like, I really want yellow ones, and it would just be, kind of bright and stuff. Although this does match, this particular bedspread. It's a Walmart bedspread. You know what I hate about Walmart is that it traps you. I criticize Walmart on a daily basis. Every time I think of, going shopping, I'm like, gosh, Walmart is so, I don't know. It's no, they have decent. I will say Walmart online Walmart has like really good items. Just they only have some very rare, unique items if you check out Walmart online. But like the store is kind of I mean the prices are good. Okay, that's why I go there. And then I always keep thinking every time I'm looking for something, I try to avoid Walmart, but then I always end up at Walmart. It sucks you in. It does. It sucks you in. So anyway, this morning I'm like, okay, I want to start my art project, but I don't want to do it till the afternoon. Okay. I also want to run by the fabric store to work on this particular project. Let me show you what I want to do. I'll be right back. I got batting for my laptop case that I plan on making, and I'm not exactly sure, because I don't. I mean, I use work with zippers and stuff, but this particular laptop case is triangular, and of course not triangular. That would be really crazy, but it's rectangular, and so I have like 3 different sides. It's got to cover, the zipper has to cover 3 different sides. So I've never done that before. See, I'm not exactly skilled in working with everything. Okay, so there's a lot of things I haven't done before. But what I want to do is I want to make an applique and put it on there. And so as I mentioned when I was young, growing up, I enjoyed childhood a lot. And some people think, for some people who don't understand, they don't quite understand that, some people are very sentimental, and I'm very sentimental and attached to those great things I used to have. And of course, I've mentioned several people that I like Fisher Price toys. I think they are so they're brightly colored. They stimulate the imagination. And one of the things I truly enjoyed as a child was the Little People. And if you go on Pinterest, you'll see a lot of other people, adult people, remember these Little People. I know they've changed the look of them throughout the years. They've made them when my son was younger. They changed them and they were more wider. But this is the Little People image, okay, that I'm used to. This is me. That's me. So I'm gonna make an applique and stitch this little version of me as a little person on the bag. So I've been looking at some of the Pinterest art, and some of the artists have been creating all kinds of cute things, and I would have never known that other people would have liked the Little People, but but they do, and they are very happy. Now, this little one, of course, is a black little person. I only had a few black Little People when I was growing up. I mean, they would come in like, sets, like schoolhouses. They would come in like buses. They would have farmhouses and stuff. All kinds of different setups for these little Fisher Price people. And, I had a few black ones, but I had mostly white ones because that's mainly what they made, okay? I had a little black boy as a little people black kid, and he was cute. And then I do remember having one of the characters from Sesame Street. They had duplicated one. His character was named Roosevelt Franklin, and he was the one who had like the what do you call it, the bushy hair. And I remember my dad used to entertain me with my Roosevelt Franklin little person, which I often think about that, and it was really cute. But anyway, I was thinking about, as I get up in the morning, I'm like, okay, well, I have all this dirty laundry, and I'm not going to do laundry till later on this afternoon. So I kept thinking, okay, it's going to be pretty hot today. So, what am I going to wear? And so, I don't have, I do wear denim a lot, but it's just too hot to wear denim. So, I've been thinking a lot about some of the stores, that are slowly becoming defunct operations. And it's kind of sad because, some of the places that I was familiar with growing up are basically gone, I mean, I mentioned yesterday about the catalogs. I know that even JCPenney's is experiencing, financial problems. And, there's been talk about them closing stores and stuff. And I'm not sure exactly how long they're going to be around. But I know Sears, is really struggling. And, growing up, I hated Sears. I hated them. The only thing I liked about Sears was like their Winnie the Pooh collection that, I would get things like, of course, Winnie the Pooh stuffed animals. He was exclusive. That particular character was exclusive at Sears only. Now, of course, you see Winnie the Pooh, you can buy them anywhere. But, and then also I used to like going to Sears because they sold popcorn in their store, But that was it, because to me, Sears, was like a bunch of like craftsman tools and stuff that I really thought was extremely boring. And when it came to clothes, it was like, I know my mom used to buy me a lot of clothes from Sears when I was growing up. And, they just didn't have, they had cute little girl clothes, only because they had the Winnie the Pooh collection. But when it came to when I was a teenager, it was like, that was the worst thing. It was like, teenagers would end up looking like 40-year-old women. It was just, they had no style. No style. No style whatsoever. And like 40-year-old women would look like 70-year-old women. It was just a horrible thing. I couldn't stand Sears. But I will say, even though they're experiencing financial problems and stuff, that their selections of like clothes and stuff online. Okay, I haven't walked into one of their stores. I know there's only a few left, but their stuff online is actually pretty good, and they're selling these things for like dirt cheap. Now, a few months ago, I purchased this dress, and it's a very basic dress, and I think I'm going to wear it today because the material is very light, and everything else is dirty, that I usually wear. And so this will be the first time I actually wore it. I got it for $13. Okay, so I know some people are just like forgetting all about Sears right now because there's other places that they'd rather shop. But I'm just basically saying, okay, check out the Sears.com website, because there might be some stuff that you need, okay? And the prices right now are really good. I mean, like shoes that they would normally sell for $50 are being sold for like $16, okay? They're pretty desperate, okay? But I mean, and it's sad too, because, even though I was never a huge fan of Sears, it's kind of sad to see them go, so I have these like really strange mixed feelings about it. Sears has been such a huge company for over 100 years. And one of the unique things about Sears, Sears and Roebuck was what the original name was called, is that, many years ago, during times of overt oppression and discrimination, I mean, I'm saying overt, okay, now it's covert, right? But, back then, there were certain items, like if a black person walked into a store, they would refuse, them to sell them certain things. And the unique thing about the Sears catalog was that anybody could buy it, because most of the purchases, even though of course you would write your name, you'd probably send a money order or a check for the items at Sears, since they were done through the mail catalog, everybody could purchase their items, So, for people who like myself, or not just black people, but people who lived in like rural areas, could have access to all kinds of merchandise. So Sears, instantly became like a hit with people. And that's understandably so, because they really knew how to please the consumer, and they weren't limiting themselves, So that gave them, so much flexibility and the ability to make, huge profits. So yeah, it's kind of sad to see that go. Another company that I was sad to see go. And I knew they've been gone for many years. It's like, I remember Miller's Outpost. That was a good place. I used to like to get my jeans there, you know. So anyway, times are changing, you know, and I have to admit, you know, I look at the world now and I don't recognize it. I really don't. It's like, you know, things are so unrecognizable, and how things are done, you know. I'm not exactly sure. I don't necessarily agree with the way things are now, because it's almost like, you know, everything that we know has been zapped away and taken away, and it's just very hard for some people like myself to get their bearings. Okay, not just talking about employment. It's just everything, you know. Oh, you know what else I thought was really cool about Sears is that they used to sell houses. Now this is back in the day. They sold houses all the way from like the early 1900s till like sometime, I think they stopped doing it like in the 1950s. Okay, so there's some houses that are still standing. You know, could you imagine ordering a house from a company and putting it together yourself? I think it's a great idea. I personally would, you know, not be able to do that. I'd probably have to hire someone to help me with it. But I mean, that's just like, it blows my mind how things used to be. You know, and I guess I'm a nostalgic person. I wish things were as simple. You know, because believe me, I'd buy myself a little Sears house and have somebody, a handyman, help me put it together. That would be great. You know, I just wish things could be as simple as they were back then. So anyway, you know, I'm in a pretty good mood today. I just want to kind of run around. I woke up this morning and I thought, okay, I'm going to get out of the house. So I'm going to go ahead and check out a new place here in Bakersfield and see if they have any bedding that I mentioned that before. I'm on a budget here, so I don't want to spend a lot of money. But I figured that would be a good reason for me to get out of the house, and then also stop by the fabric store and pick up a couple of things, you know. I just got this bed, you know, recently, and it's kind of funny because I was thinking about how, you know, when you're a targeted individual, you move around a lot. So, you know, being a woman, it's like you can't carry everything, and sometimes you just leave stuff behind. So you're always like, you know, picking up and starting all over again. But, you know, and my bed really wasn't expensive. I already had the frame, and I had to buy like new mattresses and a what do you call it? The support board. I mean, what do you call that? The bottom mattress. I can't think of the name of it. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of it right now. So, you know, I've gotten a few things for the house, and, you know, because when I first moved in here, I mean, I really didn't have anything. I really didn't. I mean, I had like basically my bed, which got infested with bed bugs, and then it was crappy anyway. I had bought that bed back in 2011, and it was already starting to dip, you know, and I'm thinking, oh my God, how in the world, you know? I thought that it was a good quality mattress, okay, but obviously it wasn't. And I'm not really sure exactly how long these foam mattresses last, but I'm taking good care of it. You know, I've been rotating it from head to foot and back and forth, because, you know, every so many weeks, because, you know, I'm sure even though they talk about how they remain firm and everything, that they can eventually be worn down, you know. So you know, but still, even though this bed was like, you know, around close to $300, you know, the mattress. It took me a while to buy one, but I got one. And, you know, I ended up getting another desk, and I ended up being able to save money to get a computer. Took me a while to get that. I got a new TV, and I got a new microwave over the last few years. So I'm grateful. Oh yeah, and then I just recently, you know, got a new car, even though, you know, I'm grateful. You know, it's just some people say, well, then you don't really have anything to complain about, bitch, right? I'm not. I am very, very grateful, you know, and I'm grateful for those things. And it's, you know, sometimes you have to think about the things that you do have, you know, in order to not focus too much on the negative things, you know. So anyway, I'm going to get myself, take this linen off and start washing it. Either switch on to something. I'm going to leave it blank. I'm just going to leave my bed blank for a while until I get back home. If I find something great, I'll put that on, and if not, I'll change them into something, another bed set. But I'm really hoping that I'll find something different because, like, I think changing the look of your environment every once in a while is a good idea because, it prevents boredom, and it's like I'm feeling like, oh, I'm staying in one place all the time, and I'm just kind of wanting to do different things. No, my furniture's not the greatest. I don't have very much furniture. I really don't. I don't need a bunch, especially in this room. This room is very tiny. As a matter of fact, you'll see that my bed is pressed against my door. I have 2 bedroom doors in here, so I'm like pretending that door right there doesn't exist. Okay, because this room is very in a very strange way. So I'm making the best of it. I was thinking today I wanted to get, okay, see, money's tight, so I'm not going to sit here and want to run up my gas, because I just got some gas in my car, and I'm like, okay. I kept thinking, maybe I should drive to Los Angeles today. I thought maybe that'd be kind of a good idea to get out of town. I'm thinking, okay, but then, you'd have to refill your gas tank, and, I'm just trying to eke money out here. So I kept thinking, okay, well, maybe I won't do that. I kept thinking, maybe I haven't been to Tehachapi in a long time. I kept thinking, I'm interested in stores that are struggling financially. I know that Sears and Kmart merged, and I kept thinking, well, I like some of the items now on the Sears website, and I know that Kmart and them are, connected. I kept thinking, well, maybe I should go to Tehachapi and see if, what's going on over there at the Kmart. And maybe not even necessarily to buy anything, but just be like a looky-loo and see, like, and who's to say they might, But it's all a matter of me thinking about, do I want to spend that money in gas? Do I want to spend that money in gas? I don't know. I'm not sure, but maybe, as I prepare for the day, I'll decide what I really want to do. So anyway, how's that? Not too bad. I didn't really talk about gang stalking my perps, people dangling my life and, fucking me over. I didn't mention anything about that. Not really. But anyway, I really do think that, if you can, check out the Sears.com website. I'm not trying to promote anything, but I'm just saying is, there's some good deals on there. There's some really good deals on there, and since these people are selling their stuff, you might as well take advantage of their of it. I don't wish that particular company any harm. I know that there's been a lot of talk about how they feel as though the person, I guess the CEO of Kmart, or not Kmart, yeah, Kmart/Sears, they weren't exactly happy with how his performance, and they kind of blame him for the decline of Sears. I personally don't think that Sears could have well, some people say that they could have avoided this because apparently they were affiliated with Prodigy. That when the internet started formulating and becoming a part of regular use back in the 90s. So people don't understand why they didn't in the beginning take advantage of the online shopping thing when so many people were engaging in this, and Sears they weren't really proactive. So they kind of lost a lot of opportunities there. So maybe it is their fault, but I know that there's so much competition in retail. And even though I think Sears has stepped up on their game, like, as far as being able to accommodate different ages, like I said, when I was a teenager, that shit was messed up. I mean, it just was, right? And now, they tend to have more more items that are going to appeal to different age groups, So if you, I know, what is this? Yeah, this is summer. We're heading to summer. So I know they have sweaters and stuff like that. If you want to check out, because your kids are going to be going back to school, and it's going to be right around the corner. It will just be like, if you got kids, and you want to prepare early, or you want to prepare for the next season, you might want to check them out, because why not take advantage of it? You can get the standard, the staples of, like, sweaters, turtlenecks, handbags for your kids to go to school, book bags and stuff like that. So I just would like to see Sears make some money. I do. I want to see them, I'd like to know that they've gotten some help, even though I can't do anything. But I kind of feel kind of bad for that company. But anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video, and I will be back with another one later. Have a wonderful Saturday.